Hello everyone, we are going to present our film review about Top Gun Maverick. The title is it worth to wait more than 30 years to watch Top Gun Maverick? Introduction about the film. Joseph Kosinski is directing this film alone. It's different when we look at the directors in Top Gun in 1989 that are Joseph Kosinski and Tony Scott. Tony Scott passed away in 2012, and we need to wait for more than 30 years old to watch another action from Pete Maverick Mitchell inside the cockpit of the jet. Since Tom Cruise stated that after Top Gun release, he doesn't want to play again as Captain Pete in Top Gun sequel because he thinks that the film is not a real representation about war. He also believes that it will have back effect for the young generation. However, Joseph Kosinski made adjustment in the genre of Top Gun Maverick rather than just focus in action. He also put some other element to support the film that is not only focused in action genre. That's to pursue Tom Cruise to play again in the Top Gun sequel, Top Gun Maverick.
And next is synopsis. The film begins by showing Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell, who is going to try the Dark Star hypersonic aircraft with a scramjet boost. But before acting, the program wants to be stopped and diverted to the drone program by Rear Admiral Chester Hammer Kane. Maverick wanted to prove that he could achieve the goal of the program to reach Mach 10, but the plane was crashed and destroyed. Admiral Kane wants to get Maverick out, but discovers he has been recruited to teach Top Gun by his friend Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky, and sends him to the North Island. Maverick is asked to teach Top Gun graduate on an urgent mission. In training, the pilots there were problems where they could not reach the set target, so they doubted whether his test could really be done. Maverick managed to practice it with the allotted time and made him appointed as the strike leader, and now is the time to choose a suitable pilot candidate for this mission. Maverick chose Phoenix with Bob and Roster as his partner. In this mission, in the early stage, bombing the factory was carried out smoothly, but after leaving the area, they become the target of the enemy. So Maverick had to sacrifice his plane to be hit by a missile to protect Rooster. Not wanting the same incident to happen again, Rooster returns to save Maverick. They search for an abandoned aircraft that is on the enemy's airstrip and try to fly it. After flying the plane, they were chased by two fifth-generation planes, which gave them a small chance of winning. But they managed to defeat the two planes and got home safely. Next. Then the next is arguments about future technology. When you first watch Top Gun Maverick, the first iconic scene you see is definitely a Maverick trying to prove that he is able to bring the Dark Star plane to Mach 10 speed. Still, the scene is made not only to spoil the audience's eyes, but there are other things that Joseph Kosinski wants to show with that scene. As we know, Joseph Kosinski liked futuristic things in film he has worked on before, such as Tron Legacy and Oblivion, with advanced technology that we did not know before. So with these scenes, he wants to show that the film Top Gun Maverick is not in the same era as the previous Top Gun, which the scene show the SR-72 or Dark Star aircraft, which is the newest aircraft project where we do not know whether the aircraft does exist or does not exist. But from the information available, the aircraft was made by the Lockheed Martin company with the design development of the SR-71 Blackbird aircraft.
One last ride.
The next argument is about Sons of the Future. Even though they use fake flight in this sense, they are able to create sounds like never before. As Al Nelson, a sound designer or supervising sound editor from the film Top Gun Maverick, said, they created the sound of the plane unlike other fighter planes because this plane was more elegant and futuristic. But it also had to look as real as possible. So he decided to make the propulsion engine as clean as possible and looks high-tech. Apart from that, they also use the separate tone technique to increase the tension when Maverick is about to reach Mach 10. This technique is an illusion where sound wave will continue to be played repeatedly, separated by octave as if the sound seems to be increasing continuously. The sound of the plane traveling at close to Mach 10 and the fuselage starting to heat up is part of what makes the scenes futuristic, because it's impossible to record it in real life. But it feels so real to how Al Nelson decided to use the sound from the rippling suspension bridge instead of using the sound of the aircraft that he had previously recorded. Next.
Windshield hot caution.
Surface temp rising.
Come on, sweetheart, just a little more. Just a little. Come on!
And not only with the sound of the plane, Al Nelson also determines the tone, such as during the scenes where Maverick touches the number 10 and exceeds it to 10.1. In this scene, when Maverick is about to reach Mach 10, the sound of the beep goes up, which explains that it is an emotional sound and also an achievement for hitting the target. But when Maverick continued to push the plane towards Mach 10.1, there was a tone of beep sound that sounded like a drop, indicating disappointment, because that was what made the plane destroy and the project fail.
Come on! Just a little push. Holy shit.
You got some balls, stick jockey. I'll give you that.
Oh, shit.
Another element that we are going to discuss today is about the picture angle. Both sequel of Top Gun is not only show us the action scene, despite there are also comedic, drama, and romantic scenes, The part when Captain Pitt and his team inside the box of the plane and start to do extreme maneuver on the sky is the favorite one. The room inside of jet fighter plane is not big enough for a camera person to jump in to shoot the pilot expression and to shoot the environment around the jet when they are in the sky, which is usually the scene that makes the most impression when you see a film with a theme like a Top Gun. Another angle that really makes the audience amazed is when the camera captures the damage that the jet plane received after they fall in the sky. Here we are trying to review some difference between the same angle of shoot inside Top Gun 1989 and Top Gun Maverick 2022. The first one, showing the crew. We are going to show you similar scenes from those two sequels, both showing Captain Pitt and other crew during the dogfight or sky fight using a plane. The position of the camera is also in the same location, in front of the pilot seat. However, we can recognize the difference from those two scenes. In Top Gun 1989, the area that can be inserted into the camera looks cramped, with the head of the crew not completely in the frame and just blue sky as the background, make it look like not really in the sky. In a recent Top Gun, Tom Cruise's head does not touch the border even with some part of his shoulders is in the frame too. There are also some different angles of shooting in Top Gun, and all of them show how limited the place inside the cockpit is. In Top Gun Maverick, they also give us angles that are not only in front of Tom Cruise. The difference that we can feel when we watching it is there is not much shaking during the scenes, and there is still pretty big room for us to watch the technology inside the box. Another element that makes it different also is in the background. We can see some environment around where the fight took place, which also make our feeling while watching the scene relax, not feel like inside a cram room.
Mustang, this is Voodoo 1. We are totally defensive. Launch the...
Maverick supersonic. I'll be there in 30 seconds.
Move your ass. Get up here. I'm engaged with 5. Repeat 5. I'm in deep shit. 1 make 12 o'clock high. 1 make 12 o'clock high. Watch your back. Watch your back.
Talk to me, Rooster! Where is he? I got towed! Take...
The last element is the dogfight in the air. The scene that we screenshot above happened when there are fights between protagonists and antagonists in the air. The person who looked to the back when plane passed their plane is in the same position in the back seat. Even the angle of the suit is both in the front of their position, the pilot position is not the same. In Top Gun 1989, the pilot position is more to the left of the screen, which makes the right side wider to show how fast the plane is crossing the airplane. With the suit position, it was hard to see the part of the plane they were on, and it looked like they only sit on the regular chair with some part and not inside the jet. On the other hand, in Top Gun Maverick, the position of the pilot is in the center of the screen. However, we still can focus and clearly see the passing jet that the director want the audience to focus on. And also, we can see some part of the jet body that Pitt and Rooster ride on, which also can make the audience feel it if their shoot actually happened on a jet plane.
What the... Holy shit! What the fuck was that?
And the last is evaluation. More modern, maybe that is what we can see when we watch Top Gun Maverick. For people who love to see Tom Cruise action, especially his action inside his jet cockpit, just like 30 years ago in Top Gun 1986, choosing to watch this movie is a brilliant idea. Everything is going better than the last Top Gun movie, from the technique used by the crew of production and the action that all the cast showed to the audience. However, if you want to feel more story inside the film, it is better to watch Top Gun, because the story inside Top Gun is better than in Top Gun Maverick. We can find more love, comedy, family, loyalty in Top Gun 1986. And that's it for our presentation. Thank you for listening.